If your child ever asks, where do sandwiches come from, tell them the truth. Look them straight in the eyes and tell them, all our food keeps blowing up!
48 minutes of dogs barking, 48 minutes of dogs barking, 48 minutes of dogs barking, 48 minutes of dogs barking. Growl! Growl! 48 minutes of dogs barking, 48 minutes of dogs barking.
Sorry, Jason, I had to record Sunday instead of regular
right.
Thursday. I was
all
over in Utah for a couple days with the other Antifa super soldiers, and as I'm sure you saw on the news, Operation Roller Backpack was a success.
Operation Lanyard,
Operation Lanyard.
We'll save a lot of this for Thanks I Hate It. Suffice it to say, never have I gotten that many family group texts. And I'll go into more detail later. But yeah, it's been a strange couple of days is what we're trying to say. Online and in real life. Me having to explain to my mother what a groiper is.
Yeah.
Whew, boy.
Not great. Murked by apparently the last person playing Helldivers. Yeah, it's some like neckbeard 22-year-old.
Other tragedies did occur in this past 2 weeks. Again, we haven't spoken to you for a while, so we do apologize for that. Blame Jay Brandstetter and Winslow Dumaine, because we had a very, very long talk with them about low tax trying to beat up Uwe Boll and then getting absolutely clowned. That is on a future episode of a podcast called I'm From the Internet. Keep your eyes out for it. But because of that, we didn't have an episode last week, and then this week, we're on a bit of a delay, so apologies for it. The other tragedy that happened in the past couple of weeks was, of course, from this post at Wu-Tang is for the Children. Some breaking bad news from Burning Man. The Orgy Dome has been destroyed. Here is some drone footage of it with the Billie Eilish song from the Barbie movie.
Oh, God. That's so funny. The Orgy Dome has been decimated. All the Funko Pops are ruined.
Thoughts and prayers. And a lot of people responding, of course, looked like the storm blew its load. It's not even a dome. This is false advertising. Well, other things happened. We did miss a wonderful week of memes about Trump possibly having died.
I definitely seized out.
There's definitely something wrong with that man.
The droopy dog face.
A lot going on is what we're saying. A lot going on. Oh, yeah. I wanted to introduce you to something that I found. It was just called Geometry. It is an Instagram reel. K. Nasik Dalkarl, I do not know how to say the guy's name, wrote a quick script to convert PDFs to audiobooks using an AI library and noticed that sometimes it gets stuck on certain words for no apparent reason. And I fucking love it. Here are 2 blissful minutes of it trying to say geometry.
1. Geometry.
Saying geometry while writing the Sibian. It feels like a Monty Python sketch that goes on for too long. So a Monty Python sketch. The other discovery
that was the sound of
nope. Nope. But no, a discovery that we found on TikTok at Rizzbot Official.
Oh, the Unkbot.
Well,
this is different.
Wearing a cowboy hat and giving you the finger. That was the first thing I saw from Rizzbot Official. Here's another video of Rizzbot going out into the park. Cuban links, yellow and black sneakers, cowboy hat. And he's out in public. He's out here.
Yo, nephew, that beard and mustache combo is cold as hell. You got that laid-back vibe, and the way it's neatly groomed, you keeping it real for real. That Tar Heels tee is straight banging and fits you like a glove. You got that solid player status, no cap. Your posture's upright and calm like a boss. You keeping it 100, solid homie.
Why does he talk like Macho Man Randy Savage?
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, they took Rizzbot to the strip club, where the caption is, "Gotta pay my electricity bill." Rizzbot drops to the ground. Rizzbot dishing out compliments is the other one that I found.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, this came out June 28th. I hadn't seen this until recently. But yes, he walks up to an Asian man and plays the emotional damage meme out loud. The bio, rizzing, roasting, no filter, daily life of a real humanoid, Austin, Texas.
Getting roasted by Randy Savage.
Yeah.
AI bot.
Yeah. It's got to hurt.
The cream is not rising to the top. You are not serving cunt in that fit. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Looking like a dish rag. Oh.
A story I never thought I'd see, and you've corrected me on the pronunciation of this. Shein. Mm-hmm. Fashion giant Shein launched an investigation, this according to Graham Fraser of the BBC, after an image of Luigi Mangione, accused murderer of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, was used to model a shirt. An image with his likeness, which appeared to show him wearing a white short-sleeve shirt, appeared on the website until its removal. It is thought that the product he appeared to be modeling was on sale for just under $10. Okay.
Cheaper than a copay.
I guess so. A spokesperson from Shein told the BBC the image in question was provided by a third-party vendor. That's very strange.
Ancient Chinese secret.
All right. Sure, man.
Sure, man. Whatever, bro. You gonna buy this shirt or what?
Right. Jeez. BBC reached out to a bunch of people who are experts in detecting AI images. Most likely scenario, it was created by AI, generated by Midjourney, probably adding Mangione's face to an AI-generated photo. A very strange way to sell a t-shirt, if you ask me.
That would be really interesting, though, like poisoning a reference file for an AI with stuff like, like Pol Pot, Luigi.
Pol Pot for guest jeans. All right, man.
Wow, new Flint and Tinder looking spicy.
Yeah. Oh, geez. All right, and our last bit in the What's Hot Classic. Druski went to a NASCAR event in whiteface. This is according to the Daily Dot. The headline, Druski's uncanny NASCAR Patriot parody is going viral. Here's what's going on. Those of you not familiar with comedian Druski, what would you say he's kind of known for, Brian?
I couldn't tell you.
Comedy.
I know he's a funny guy. He's on the internet. The younger folks younger than us, I should say, tend to be a little bit more into his shit. I don't know. I hate to say it. I don't have a ton of exposure to his stuff, but none of it has offended me.
Yeah.
This is a pretty great bit.
So in the bit, here he is hooting and hollering. Just that guy who is just proud to be American flag emoji, laughing, crying emojis. And there he is, complete with a sunburn American hat.
The farmer's tan.
Yes. All the old country boy tattoos.
Fucking rules.
Like a 40-ish-year-old woman, short haircut, wearing a Cedar Point tank top, just taking a drag off his smoke. They're chugging a Monster. I mean, the makeup is impeccable.
Got the red cup.
Oh, yeah. The whole bit. He pulls up to an African-American. You're lost, boy? I gotta say the mullet wig is impressive.
It's pretty good. Yeah, this is so many blue-collar dudes I've worked with.
It is insanely accurate. There's just
the farmer's tan, the tattoos.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. At Master Chef Money writing, this is the most impressive white face I've ever seen. The makeup must have taken hours. At Tired of Deary noted, there was probably people in this video thinking he was actually white. Another person joking he could infiltrate the Klan if he wanted to. Druski's white face was very tasteful. At DKL Marxist chimed in.
Theo Vaughn coming in empty head is always, wow, anyone do hair and makeup? Hit my DMs. I feel a Jerry curl coming on. Which,
nope.
I think what makes the Druski bit work is, aside from the stuff involving African Americans, the bit is that he's pulling it off. Not that it's not like a Borat thing where he's
he's not provoking. He's just kind of blending in, I think, is the.
He's doing the one SNL bit about
Black Like Me.
Where, like, yeah, the one black guy gets off the bus and all of a sudden there's waiter or something, and drinking champagne and
it was Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, it was Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, brilliant bit. And yeah, it's the same bit, right? But it's done in a very different type of way. Anyway, that's What's Hot Classic, right? Which can only mean one thing. That's right. It's Crypto Scam of the Week.
You're listening to 48 Minutes of Dogs Barking, the podcast.
And now it's time for the Crypto Scam of the Week.
Oh, baby. September 2nd. Again, this Crypto Scam was more than a week ago. I thought it important because it is another decentralized exchange getting hit yet again, courtesy of the block here. Headline, decentralized exchange Bunni loses an estimated $8.4 million in a smart contract exploit. Not great. Are you familiar with Bunni? You know who these guys are? And it says here, the exploit targeted security vulnerabilities in Bunni's Ethereum-based smart contracts, although the specific techniques used by the attackers have not been fully reported. Actually, I'm sorry, it was Unichain and Ethereum, excuse me. So half of the Unichain haul, that was $6 million, was swapped to Ether and bridged to Ethereum in a series of 100 ETH transfers via a cross protocol. Saul, PSAUL 26IX. Jesus fuck.
Jeez, fuck, yeah.
And what a name. Saul 26.
Okay. I have to hear that read in court.
I know. It wrote on Twitter, if you have money on Bunni, remove it ASAP. And this guy is a core contributor at Bunni.
One of the big dogs.
So, yes, Bunni is a DEX built on Uniswap that optimizes liquidity provider returns through the use of adaptive pools and incentive tokens. All right.
Yeah. I don't really keep up with
the
technicals like I used to. This isn't 22.
Right.
But my understanding that V4 can pull from different liquidity pools. So if you were perhaps trying to exploit some code, pulling from a V4 could be advantageous because you could probably do some swaps like back in the day.
Okay.
Liquidity swaps. There we go. Fuck. That was how everyone was got 2 or 3 years ago. Flash loans. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, flash loans.
So it says here, according to Halborn, the attack began with a flash loan and made multiple carefully crafted swaps for one token to another. So in the Ethereum pool, they borrowed USDT, swapped from USDT to USDC, changing the spot price tick of the pool, and then decreasing the amount of USDC left in the pool. So this is a fairly sophisticated attack.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about leveraging different pools and
finance nerd shit.
They're really ticking up one thing, and then, okay, now the liquidity is this, and then we're going to exploit it for this. And
we're going to jump ahead in line, as it were, on something resetting. Yeah, it's got fucking Subway Jared that shit.
So what's interesting to me is at the end of this article there, it reminded me immediately of Superman 3. The Bunni hack was made possible by a rounding error. The developers believed that rounding a key value down would cause the idle balance to increase. However, the opposite occurred. As a result, an attacker was able to carefully manipulate the pool to withdraw a disproportionate number of tokens while burning less liquidity. Interesting. So by unbalancing the pool, they were creating the conditions needed to make massive withdrawals, resulting in getting over 8 million across the two pools. Yikes, folks. So watch out where you stick that money, folks.
Yes, sure.
Don't stick your money in a bunny. Well, Brian, you brought this to my attention last week that we should do this, and I think you're right. It's been way too long since we've covered something this big. Games done quick.
Yes, sir. What's better than playing video games? Watching someone else play video games and doing it for charity.
That's pretty much it, yeah. The games done quick. Speedrunners raise money, and they play games. They show off their favorite exploits. They do these insane speed runs. I've seen a couple years where they did a Bloodborne speed run, which is fascinating.
Bringing in a lot of the big Bloodborne streamers and showing all the different ways you can break the game. Or, there's different types of runs you can do. There's any percent. There's glitchless, tool assisted. And then there's like glitchless, which is kind of like anything goes typically, wherein if you go to like some of the Elden Ring speed runs, they're pretty impressive. And there is like an Earthbound 80% speed run that's pretty wild, because a lot of these folks will explain like how and why they're doing certain things, how it manipulates certain redundancies in code or how the game was programmed. And you also learn how a game functions.
Yeah.
If you're a nerd for things like that, it's pretty neat.
It kind of spawned out of two different events. It has its roots in one of my favorite ones. Loading Ready Run did a thing called Desert Bus for Hope. Have you heard of this one? You know this one?
Yes, I know about this.
So Desert Bus for Hope, for those of you who don't know, it's ridiculous. So Desert Bus was a mini game in a Penn and Teller CD-ROM video game called Penn and Teller Smoke and Mirrors. And the whole point of the game was to drive a virtual bus on an 8-hour-long trip between Tucson, Arizona and Las Vegas, Nevada. That is the entirety of the video game. It was on Sega CD. The whole point is that this is probably the worst video game ever created. It's boring. And so the stream was like 2007. This sketch comedy group put this together. It's like, haha, wouldn't this be funny to stream this 8-hour-long boring game?
Part of also what makes Desert Bus so terrible is that it is just a straight road and there's very little animation. You can't just like hold down the gas button.
Right.
There is a drift.
Yeah, the bus
has. So you actually have to be like mentally present on some level. And people have been talking about this being a terrible game, but a funny bit since the mid-90s, since this game came out. I remember reading about this in like EGM and like Game Players as a kid.
The Penn and Teller Smoke and Mirrors game for Sega CD is kind of garbage to begin with. Like, there's really not much to the game. It's like there's a beat 'em up in there too. It's a ridiculous game. If you can do a little research on that, find a let's play of like the whole game, because it's really fun to watch, but it's less fun to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, since 2007, Desert Bus for Hope has been doing this. It says they raised over $10 million for Child's Play over the 18-year history. And the other one was other charity speedrunning marathons by the Speed Gamers, which in itself was a group of speedrunners. And then, of course, Speed Demos Archive was the first one. That was January 2010 during MagFest 8. It was themed around 8-bit and 16-bit games, and therefore it was called Classic Games Done Quick, after the 1990s speedrunning series Quake Done Quick. It has since just been going. They've actually split it off into two different types of marathons. You've got Awesome Games Done Quick, which is the one for January, raises money for the Prevent Cancer Foundation, and then you've got Summer Games Done Quick. That's late June, early July. Raises money for Doctors Without Borders. And that one also takes place in Minneapolis, St. Paul. So that's fun. Now, they do have a couple of other variants of their event. They do one at TwitchCon every year called Games Done Quick Express. And then, let's see here. And Frame Fatales is a week-long marathon featuring only women and non-binary speedrunners.
They also did a Juneteenth edition this year.
That's right.
Yeah, it's really neat. I am a huge nerd, and particularly when I was recently unemployed,
right,
spent a lot of time watching speedruns and things like that, watching streamers while doing other stuff, working on things, and like, I don't know, I'll throw on like a 3-hour Resident Evil 2 stream while I'm picking up the house or something.
Sure.
You know.
Now, do you watch the same ones on repeat, or are you looking for new ones? Okay.
Like, there's a particular Resident Evil streamer called Bok Soup, who's a Canadian guy, and he pretty much like streams Resident Evil games exclusively. He'll do a lot of horror stuff too, so like Silent Hill, and he'll find indie games and all that. But generally, he'll do things like if there's a new Resident Evil 4 like randomizer mod. He'll probably spend like a week streaming that. And watching an 8-hour stream on and off throughout like a day of a guy trying to beat a randomizer that seems to have a near impossible seed, really for the most hardcore among us, that is probably the most incel activity I engage in.
Well, they are fascinating. I have always found speedruns to be interesting. I know a lot of people can't stand them or, maybe have a dim view of them, but I do think that there's something to be said for someone who has mastered.
That really understands like how a game works. There's so many, particularly if you get back to like 16-bit and 32-bit games where some of the programming is relatively primitive by contemporary standards. There's a lot of interesting things you can do to like switch around like memory. Like there's stuff with like Super Mario World where holding stuff in memory allows you to do certain glitches or bypass certain things. And it's using the game's programming, these feats of technical marvels in some respect per their era, but using those workarounds, those shortcuts that some of that programming may have allowed, using it to cheese the game, as it were.
Yeah, no, I love seeing like skips and things where you can just like break the game. I love seeing the ones, especially in the N64 or the GameCube era Zelda games, because I've always found those games to be like impenetrable to me. I think it's just because I didn't have those systems, and so like it doesn't make a lot of sense how to play the game normally. So I am also intrigued on how to break it. I always just like seeing games get broken. Like when the guys did a 5-hour Bloodborne, awesome games done quick. That was fascinating to me. I think I watched the whole thing.
Was it the guy with the really low voice?
Yes.
And the long hair?
Yes.
Yeah, that guy's he's a pretty good Bloodborne streamer. All of the stuff he's done for GDC is really good. Yeah, you'll have someone like speedrunning a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
And it's an 8-hour speed run.
Yeah, Jesus.
And I don't necessarily suggest those are not for the faint at heart, but people will then stream mobile games, or like it was one of the last couple iterations, someone did the Super Nintendo Clock Tower.
Oh, wow.
And it was, if I recall, like just as much as about like how you can speed run this game as it was like a love letter to why this semi-obscure Super Nintendo horror game where the protagonist is obviously like Jennifer Connelly, why this game is so neat and so special. And as someone who discovered that game through emulation in like 2001 and found it the fan translation and found it to be really amazing and unique, was like, oh, this is cool. And
yeah,
people do obscure games. Secret of Evermore, there's a speedrun out there that's really great. Yeah, everything from like, like stuff that's just hit, that's released in the last 6 months, to stuff that's a little bit more nostalgic. Really something for everyone.
I mean, I've seen so many different games that they've done. They did a Tony Hawk one. It was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. They did a whole one of the God of War franchise. Speedrun Spooktacular. Those are horror games. But what's interesting is that, because it's a public-ish streaming event, they're no stranger to controversy. This Kotaku article from, I believe it was 2017, a guy named Private Cinnamon Bun, a commentator on Ion Graveray's Ape Escape 2 run, was accused of wearing a MAGA hat. Event staff pretty much said that he was banned from attending future marathons for allegedly wearing the hat on stream.
But here's the thing. According to Private Cinnamon Bun, because apparently he was unbanned at some point because apparently he did not wear a MAGA hat, allegedly. Jesus. But this paragraph here on this Kotaku article is fantastic. According to Private Cinnamon Bun, the ban was overturned after event staff reviewed footage and ascertained that he had not, in fact, worn a MAGA hat. Regardless, shortly afterwards, Private Cinnamon Bun claims to have received a new ban for allegedly unplugging a power strip. Adding another complication to the mix, Mega Man X6 Speedrun, a terrible game. Cyber Demon 531 also got banned from event over the MAGA hat, which apparently belonged to them all along.
Jesus Christ. Oh. Yeah, unplugging a power strip. Okay. Yeah.
There's a lot of people in the speedrun community, particularly with GDC, that are kind of seemingly nice, positive people, and project like a at least neutral viewpoint on things. And then yes, there are some shitheads. There are some people that are just Demonius X but successful.
This one in 2018, Heather Alexandra, also writing for Kotaku, Bubbles Del Fuego, a speedrunner known for Fallout 4 and Dark Souls speedrun, said Friday on a Twitch stream that he had been taking marijuana edibles to treat chronic pain. He said he shared a portion of his edibles with a friend. 8 hours later, as the edibles' effects wore off, Bubbles Del Fuego's friend experienced a panic attack. As police arrived on the scene and GDQ staff became aware of the situation, they asked him to leave. During a live run for Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, where he was providing commentary, you can see him check his phone before leaving the commentator's couch. I made the mistake of sharing it. I made the mistake of bringing it to Virginia to begin with. I was so caught up in feeling comfortable with them and feeling like family, but I should have reconsidered that. One GDQ staff member tells me to get a lawyer as soon as possible. Another says that marijuana should never be given to anyone with anxiety.
I'm going to tell you something right here, Chief. Someone with anxiety, a little bit of the Mary Jane can help, but you got to be in the right mindset. You just can't spur that. You can't it's like giving Mountain Dew to a homeschool kid. There's a way to do it right.
Right, and I think their issue was more about you have medical marijuana for your Hodgkin's lymphoma, which was a thing about Bubbles Del Fuego. He did have at the time, again, this was a couple of years ago before it was more widely available. This was he shared his prescription with someone kind of thing, and that was kind of a legal gray area in that where they were. So it's kind of we don't want to have any kind of impropriety. As a result, Bubbles Del Fuego said in the live stream, the 2-time cancer survivor is now banned from a cancer marathon. Yeah. Not an ideal way to frame it, but it's not wrong either. A couple people in 2022 came forward and said that Russian speedrunner Mekazarium completed a live run of Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. However, an extra run of the game's Blade Wolf DLC was offered as a charity donation goal incentive, but the guy has admitted his run was faked. Just of the DLC. It was pre-recorded.
Yeah.
He says, I haven't mentioned it anywhere, neither during the submission process or the email I sent to the GDQ committee. It was supposed to be a real-time run, but I changed my mind at the last second after switching the saves. That's
that's
not good.
But it was for charity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You get people from all walks of life doing this, and some people they're not made of the stern stuff needed to live stream a video game to help doctors without borders.
Exactly.
Some people just don't. Some people are built different.
Exactly right. Now, let's see. What do we have today? Masterpiece. The gay percent piece. All right.
Yeah, it's neat. People donate, like you were mentioning with the Metal Gear Solid Revengeance stream. There are incentives if certain thresholds are hit, where someone might play through a DLC or might do if someone's doing a really strict 100% run or no glitch run, they might do okay, well, it takes me 50 minutes to beat this game,
right?
Normally, but if you want to do a glitch run, it takes 5 minutes,
right?
So I'll do the 5-minute one if we hit this threshold.
Gotcha.
And there was also what was it earlier this year? One of the things, particularly with RPGs, I'm just gassy today.
That's all right.
God, I don't know. Am I pregnant?
It's not mine.
Anyways, there were a lot of bidding wars to name characters for the RPGs and stuff like that, and name them Luigi. Which I found very entertaining.
Very entertaining. It's fascinating because, the runners aren't necessarily compensated. They're volunteers. This, according to the Hollywood Reporter interview that they did with the main guys behind it. That is a gentleman by the name of Mike Iwama. Uyama.
Uyama.
I've been saying it wrong all day. And Matt Merkel. This was kind of cool. It says these events have always benefited charities instead of being for profit. Why? The Hollywood Reporter writer asks. Matt Merkel says it started off considerably smaller in Mike Umama's basement. He's the owner of the company, as a small gathering of friends from online and in the area. They decided they wanted to do something interesting with speedrunning because that was their hobby, so they did an informal get-together and decided they wanted to do something with it, which was streaming. That was really uncommon at the time. Streaming was uncommon back then in 2010. They wanted to stream for a purpose, not just playing games, and that's where the charity aspect came in. It was a huge success. If he did $2,000, he'd be happy, but he ended up getting close to $11,000. After that huge response, he decided to make it into a proper event, and that's when we started moving into hotels and really scaling everything up. It's been growing ever since. He absolutely loves the mission of playing games for a good cause and showing that there's a good side to gaming as opposed to some of the news you might see about gaming. And that's a very noble mission. And so far, it's done that. It's done the thing.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. It seems like a really fun time. It's not necessarily like high on my list of things I'd like to do, but like if I had, if like the stars lined up, like,
sure.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I feel like it's a thing that, like, it was an idea whose time had come, right? Justin TV had already transitioned over to Twitch at the time. Video game streaming was really at that moment. It was kind of the moment, and they hit right at the right time. They're kind of the name. Like, when you think of any kind of charity stream, these are the guys you think of first. Because they were there. They were right there at the right time at the right place. And I mean, they've got a dozen imitators. They've got a bunch of sub-brands, right? They've got a number of people who are kind of doing their style of thing. If you remember H-Bomber Guy a couple of years ago doing that Donkey Kong 64 speedrun, or not really a speedrun. It was just like a Let's Play. He wasn't doing any tricks to make that game any shorter.
That game is
that game is a beast.
When I think about that game, I really all I do think about is pain.
Yeah. Please don't make me do this.
Yeah. Mr. Police, I gave you all the clues. It is the desert bus of N64 games.
Oof. Yeah, I mean more than Conquer, more than Banjo. Yeah,
at least Conquer's funny.
Conquer's very funny. Yes, you had that. That's a fair point. Yeah, and Banjo is also
the singing poo.
Yeah,
the horny flowers.
Yeah, but gameplay wise, there's a lot of similarities, which is kind of weird. But
I mean, it's all rare games running off the same engine. Really don't have a lot of patience for those kind of N64 platformers outside of Mario 64.
Yeah, I think there was one a couple of years back that tried to kind of do a Banjo-Kazooie thing, ukulele, yeah, and I couldn't get into it.
It looked, if you were nostalgic, if you have a soft spot for those kind of games, it seems like they did a really great job. But it's kind of like saying, do you want to go back to eating like cafeteria food? From grade school,
right?
And you went to a poor school.
No, not really.
No, that's the surprisingly wet pizza.
The amount of sawdust you ate, yeah, it's very high. The amount of fillers,
nutritional sawdust,
milk. Yeah,
these gym mats have such little meat. Milk.
You gotta boil them. You gotta boil the gym mats really good to get them to taste right. Yeah. What do you think Salisbury steak was? We didn't have meat. Come on.
What the fuck is Salisbury steak?
It's just a hamburger, man, in gravy. That's it.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, one of life's great mysteries has been solved for me.
Yeah, it's ground beef patties, breadcrumbs, and a gravy.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Yeah.
Named after Dr. James H. Salisbury, a 19th century physician who advocated for a meat-based diet.
Yep. Yeah, it's a brown sauce. They're good. I mean,
I don't think I've ever had like a homemade one. I'm sorry to say
the microwave ones. Yeah.
Sorry to say my experience has been the express.
Yeah, the Stofers.
Yeah, and the TV dinner.
Mm-hmm. That's like the cheapest ground beef you can get is in those things. So yeah, I get
it's lower than what you can get at Taco Bell.
Mm-hmm. At the same time, delightful.
Just because it's bad for you doesn't mean it isn't delicious.
Exactly.
There we go.
Exactly.
That's what I was meaning to say.
No, I fully agree. But yeah, game's done quick. Episode done quick.
Yeah. Wow.
since we're really, like we talked about last time, we're not doing our shock.jpg.
Yeah, I mean, we had a really great shock.jpg.
Yikes.
It's set to the GameCube startup music.
That's my thing. Is I was told, don't say anything, it'll get you fired. I'm like, all right, I won't. I promise.
Boy, yeah.
On a free episode.
Yeah, you gotta go. You gotta pay $5.
Speaking of which, it's about that time we tell people where to find us online. Brian, where can people find you on the old internet?
Oh boy, if you want to find me on the old internet, you can head on over to Twitter and Blue Sky. I'm over there at iShotGuideboard, ISHOTGUIDBORD. You can find me over on Instagram at a music photographer. And if you want to check out my portfolio of photos of people with their mouths open, you can head on over to the beautiful and illustrious assholemusicphotographer.com. And if you want to check out the last and only good media website left in screwy St. Louis, you can head over to theartsstl.com.
Anything new up there that we need to be aware of? Oh, it looks like Sarah Bosley is going back through the Criterion backlist.
Laura Jarrell? I always forget how to say her name correctly, but she's been doing a lot of stuff. Everyone walked away from the Pantera show at Riverport with really great photos. And it's just like, I don't know if I want great photos of that dude.
Yeah, that's fair. No, I get it.
I don't know, Marilyn Manson's playing the pageant. And I have less qualms about that than photographing Phil from Pantera. But anyways, Jason, where can they tell you got sweet boy tits?
Oh boy, you can do that on any number of places, not the least of which is Blue Sky. There I am, Video Crime, VIDEOCRIME. Pretty much anywhere there's a video crime, that's going to be me, including, Letterboxd. I still have my Twitter account. I don't really post there. You can also find me as part of a podcast that's not this one, called Submitted for the Approval, The Midnight Pals. There I play the fictionalized version of horror icon Stephen King. And our new episode is going to be really fun. Anyway, that is midnight-pals.simplecast.com, or anywhere podcasts are sold, just search Midnight Pals. You can reach this show in a number of ways. My personal favorite is the telephone. 314-246-9766. That's 314 AHOY POO if you like to spell with your telephone. Shoot us an email, Jason at 4 8 minutesofdogsbarking.com, or Brian with a Y at 4 8 minutesofdogsbarking.com.
Give us a call. Tell us what that mouth do.
You can support the show, patreon.com/4 8 minutesofdogs. There you're going to get our Breath Mint, which is our kind of a post-show hangout. We talk about stuff we've enjoyed media-wise in the last however long it's been since we recorded. And we're also going to have kind of the post-show hangout that we called Thanks, I Hate It. All sorts of fun things there. Enjoy that. Plus, if you get in at the $10 level, of course, that is the punishment tier. We are closing in on the end of the year. We do not have a punishment for the punishment tier. I am both excited and terrified at what our listeners are going to cook up. One of our super listeners, Ken, just joined at that level.
Thank you, Ken, for punishing your beloved friends.
I have no idea what he's going to cook up, but I am very excited and or terrified.
Puke omelet.
Oh, man. That about does it for this episode. We thank you for enjoying 48 minutes of dogs barking done quick. And hopefully we can speed run some future episodes for you. As we always say at this time, namaste. Good luck. Give mommy a good gut fucking 25th Amendment now.
Eat the knife.
Eat the knife. There we go.
There we go.
Who ate all of the pussy?